Welcome back, learners. So today I'm here before you with business studies sample question paper as issued by CBSE in August 2025, and we are going to cover in this video all one markers. I'm basically emphasizing on all case based one markers, where you'll be surprised to see that most of the questions, in almost every question rather, there are lines directly taken from NCERT. So let us have a quick review on this business studies sample question paper for the year 25-26. So this is the first question, students, of 1 mark being asked, and here it is directly asked that the project managers in an organization set targets for the upcoming months and outline strategies to achieve them. I would just like you to note that this is the wrong method of reading the case-based questions. Whenever you see the case-based questions, I would advise you to read from the last line first. So the last line says characteristics of management. It means the topic is directly taken from chapter 1, and characteristics, we have this mnemonic of GGMP-CID. If you want the mnemonic videos separately, I will be posting up it as short videos in YouTube, so you can directly see this. There is always a story behind each mnemonic, so please do go through those shorts. So characteristics of management, project managers, they have the target for the upcoming project. At the same time, they assign specific roles and responsibilities to their team members. They motivate them from time to time, and they celebrate the achievements, and they also take the feedback. The various functions are simultaneously performed by all managers all the time. Now this is the punchline, students. In this question, it is clearly mentioned that these functions, the various functions of management, are simultaneously performed by all the managers, and that too all the time. So we have to discuss, and we have to tell which characteristic of management has been talked about in this question. So clearly, if I'll first want you to see the relevance from NCERT. If you see the NCERT in this regard, in the characteristic of management being continuous in nature, this line is clearly mentioned that the process of management is performed by all managers all the time. So you see, students, how relevant this line is, and from here you can easily make out that the same lines have been repeated in the question. So it is a very important thing that in NCERT, whenever you are doing, it is very helpful. The same lines, to show it on one page only, I'll show this. Functions are simultaneously performed by all managers all the time. This is the line in the question, and see your lines in NCERT, students. Here it's clearly given that functions are simultaneously performed by all managers all the time. So this is directly from NCERT. In every question, I can say with full guarantee that these case-based questions are directly from the lines picked from the NCERT. So it is very important to read in between the lines, and thereby the answer goes as option B, management being a continuous process. This is the cyclic presentation. Pause DC, it goes on and on. It's a cyclic process, it's a continuous process, multidimensional. All characteristics can be seen from GGMP CID. Now this particular question, students, here let us read the question. Again, it's a case-based question. Whenever you see the question of 3 to 4 lines, you make it out that it's a case-based question, and you have to read it from below. So nature of principle of management being reflected in this, you have to tell that. Nature of principles, I have formulated this mnemonic as A, B, C, D, E, F, G. C, D is basically double C. So again, one C, E, F, G. This we call it D means double C, so that it is easy to remember. So here it is said that emphasis, obedience to organizational rules and employment agreement, and it is evolved out of experience. This management is evolved out of experience and collective wisdom of managers. So experience comes with practice and experimentation. So directly you can see that the answer points towards this. And just to show you the lines from NCERT, the same lines have been taken from NCERT. It is evolved out of experience and collective wisdom of managers. Now let us see where it points in the NCERT. Under this point of formed by practice and experimentations. it is clearly depicted. The same lines have been repeated that management are formed by experience and collective wisdom of managers as well as through experimentations. So what a coherence with NCRT you can see, students, and that is why we say that in business studies the only thing which you need to go through very thoroughly is your NCRT. Now this is a somewhat different question. We'll not say that it is case based, but definitely few components of incentives have been taken in this. Let us read the last line first. Method being used to calculate the compensation. It means somewhere the question is talking about compensation, or we can say the incentives being provided by the manager to the employees. And it says that annual salary is 8 lakh per annum, and also the employees are offered shares of the company at set price which is lower than the market price. So apart from the basic salary, the first component of the compensation is basic salary, and then there is an option of what do we call as ESOP, employee stock option plan, or in the book it is co-partnership. Another name for this is stock option. So you can see, students, somewhat different question. So basic salary, it is per annum as given in the question, 8 lakhs per annum. So it is something related to time based payment, and plus this is coming as a financial incentives. So it is both this, some time based payments plus some financial incentives in the form of ESOP. So the correct answer would be this. Here incentive word particularly has been used in NCRT for these. Like if you see this co-partner stock option here, in this the heading is financial, non-financial incentives, and incentive means all the measures which are used by the management to motivate the employees. So the correct answer would be the option C. Now here, students, another question. This is the sixth question from MCQ, the 25-26 sample paper we are discussing, and here we have got a question which tells about the various components of social environment. So in this case, students, I would suggest that you must read the blue box as given in your book, NCRT again. For all business solutions, you must refer to this book, NCRT, and blue box are very, very important. So they are basically asking us the social environment where inflation does not come, the food habits and the fitness and health consciousness amongst the population, it comes. The life expectancy also comes under social environment. The human resource and its racial discrimination and discriminatory practices and employability, all these comes in the demographic coverage of population under social environment. So yes, point number 2, 3, 4. Fifth, Council of India, Advertising Standards Council of India as banned by the law. So law means it goes in the legal environment. This becomes economical, this becomes legal, and these three are social. So the final answer will be 2, 3 and 4, the option D. Now let us see from NCRT that how you can relate this question. I am talking about this particular blue box, students, where in social environment they have clearly depicted, this is the social environment, and with reference to this, they have given this blue box in NCRT where it's clearly mentioned the life expectancy, the quality of life, expectations, birth rates, death rates, the women in the workforce, or we can call it the employability skills, population shifts, consumption habits, all these are covered under social environment. So those who have read these boxes carefully will be able to answer this MCQ. Another question. Again, a question that is completely taken from NCRT. The question says that the element of marketing mix, which includes about features, quality, packaging, labeling, branding of goods, or anything of value, it can be services as well. So which segment you have to take? Like amongst the 4 P's, these are the 4 P's of marketing mix. And the question is asking that which P is applicable in this particular segment. So anything of value, students, as far as this word is concerned, you see the product definition as per NCERT, it means goods or services or anything of value. Exactly the same words, the same lines have been taken, and later I'll show you this one as well. The last line of this product includes all these features, quality, packaging, labeling. Most of you would have done the marketing management project. In that as well, when you are launching your own product, you are taking care of its features, its qualities, its packaging, labeling, distribution. So everything under product, we take all these things: packaging, labeling, branding, standardization. So all these things are under the P, product. And this is the exact lines from NCERT under this product. They have also given towards the end, this is the product lines from NCERT, and towards the end you can see, students, that they have clearly depicted that it is deciding about the features, quality, packaging, labeling and branding of the products, which is very, very important. Now this is again a case-based question, student, question number 14 of sample question paper 25-26, and it is asking you about the limitation of planning being discussed. So we are supposed to concentrate on this point, limitation of planning. Mr. Gun Amroha, a general manager of Wellworth Textiles, scans the business environment and adapts to the changes. So it is a positive thing. They are scanning the business environment and basically coping with the changes, changing environmental conditions and different dimensions of the business that are changing. However, so I think the main turning point of the question is here, because now it points towards the limitation. It is difficult to assess the future accurately. So if the future trends are not so precisely assessed, we are not able to give our 100% in coping with the changes. So it is basically due to the planning premises, we can say that future cannot be ascertained in a precise manner. So it is clearly depicting that planning may not work in a dynamic environment. And when you see this point of dynamism, here limitations of planning, I would like to say that it is DRG-CCT. These are the 6 limitations as per NCERT. Mnemonic for this is drug CCT, that has been discussed in detail in my detailed videos. So D represents dynamism, means may not work in a dynamic environment since it is a limitation. So point number B. Now let us see what NCERT has to tell under this point of dynamism. See, planning may not work in dynamic environment. So here also it is clearly saying that organization constantly adapt. Though organizations constantly adapt to the changes, it becomes difficult to accurately assess future trends in the environment, and that is why the planning fails. So this is a clear indication. Again, students, CBSE has been pointing in each question that none of the questions of case-based nature are to be asked outside the book. So you need to read NCERT carefully, especially for the topics that are very, very important from the board point of view. And this is the last question in 1 marker that I have chosen. Companies are required to ensure that dividend does not violate the terms of loan agreement. So loan agreements are to be adhered upon. It's a relevant factor in dividend decision. So these are the dividend decision as per your book. And when we see the loan agreement, it basically comes under contractual constraints. So here in contractual constraints, student, again this line is clearly mentioned that the firm, before distributing the dividends, the companies are required to ensure that they do not violate the terms of the loan agreement. Again, directly line pick up from contractual constraints, one of the factors affecting dividend decision. So this is all regarding the 1 markers. For all detailed videos on mnemonics, kindly follow the links and refer to the concerned chapter. So yes, students, this is another question number 10 of sample question paper, where communication process has to be asked to arrange in a correct sequence. And here we can see that all those who have gone through this flowchart in NCERT can attempt this question very quickly, in which a sender sends a message in an encoded manner using a media which is finally decoded by the receiver to send a feedback back to the sender. So the process is said to be complete once receiver sends the feedback to the sender, and it's a direct question from this flowchart. Just we have to arrange the sequence, and in arranging we can see that the first person will be the sender, who will send the message in an encoded manner using a particular media for the receiver to decode the message first and then receive it and finally send back the feedback. So this should be the sequence, and according to this it is 3 2 7, 3 2 7. So you need not do all the sequence properly. You can just make out through the options. 3 2 7 means it cannot be this. There are two options starting with 3. 3 1 cannot be the one. So it is 3 2 7. Option B is the correct answer. In such questions, student, you can always save time by not solving the entire process, because just the starting will give you an idea that which should be the correct option. Another question, this is question number 11. I just want to show you that again CBSE has just given the entire NCERT line for the direct question. This is a direct question of MCQ, that you have to see the meaning of depository. So when we talk about the depository's meaning, it can be is like a bank who keeps securities in electronic form on the behalf of investors, and this very definition is given in the NCERT. Word by word, I'll say that they have given the same line exactly from the NCERT. The very first line says a depository is like a bank and keeps securities in electronic form on behalf of investors, and the same lines have been copied in the question. So showing you this PDF is just meant for analyzing the relevance of NCERT book in our subject, and you must go through each line very carefully because none of the case-based questions have come from outside. This is question number 12. This says about perceived to be giving greatest benefit for the money. Money, whenever my money comes, it is always something related to the value. And let us see what NCERT has to say in customer value. They are exactly saying the same thing as the question. Here question says it is perceived to be giving greatest benefit for the money. And somewhere in between this, you will see the exact words from NCERT that in customer value, it is clearly mentioned a product will be purchased only if it is perceived to be giving greatest benefit or value for the money. So you see, students,